The story of Kerala is ancient. It's written not just in stone but in poetry. We call this time the Sangam period. Sangam means gathering. It was a gathering of poets and scholars in ancient South India. Their songs and poems tell us stories. Kings, traders, lovers, gods. These poems are like windows. They let us look into a world that existed over 2,000 years ago. Through them, we discover a land teeming with life. Mountains, forests, a long inviting coastline. This was the home of the Chera kings. They were one of the three great crowned monarchs of the south, alongside the Cholas and the Pandyas. Their kingdom was the cradle of modern-day Kerala. Understanding the Sangam period is crucial. It's not just history, it's the foundation of a unique culture. The Cheras were the lords of the western coast. Their kingdom stretched across what is now central and northern Kerala and parts of Tamil Nadu. They were known by many titles. Kudavan, from the western land of mountains. Their royal symbol was the bow and arrow. The bow and arrow image stamped on coins and hoisted on flags. It signified their skill in archery and might in battle. The Cheras were a strong power. The Cholas, the Pandyas. The Cheras had two major capital cities, Vanchi, also known as Karur, in the hills. But their true wealth came from the coast. Muziris, known today as Patnam. Muziris was more than a port. Ships from Rome, ships from Greece, ships from Egypt. Busy markets scented with pepper and many languages. One stands above the rest, Charan Sengudavan, the Red Chera. The epic Silapatikaram celebrates his story. Sangam society was not a rigid pyramid, it was more like a complex layered blanket. It wasn't based on the North's four-part caste system in a strict way. Instead, social status tied to job and the land you lived on. At the top were the kings, the chieftains, the Maravar warriors. They held political power and were celebrated for courage in battle. The poets, Pulavans, had special status. They were the kingdom's conscience. They could advise kings, praise them, or critique them through verse. One remarkable feature was the position of women. Women were educated. There were renowned female poets, like Avayar, whose wisdom kings sought. They had the right to choose partners. Women worked in the economy, in the fields, selling in markets. Life in ancient Kerala was not the same for everyone. It was shaped by the land itself. The Sangam poets divided the landscape into 5 ecological zones, or tinais. Each tinai had its own geography. Each tinai had its own god. Kurinji, the mountainous region. The Kuravars were hunters and gatherers. They worshipped Murugan, lord of the hills. Mulai, the pastoral forest land. Cowherds called Ayars. Their god was Mayon, now known as Vishnu or Krishna. Maratham, the fertile river plains. Naithal, the coastal region. Palai, the arid, dry land. Their goddess was the fierce Kotravai, goddess of war and victory. The 5 tinais are more than geography. They form a social and cultural map of ancient Kerala. Religion in the Sangam Age was deeply intertwined with nature. It was not about grand temples or rigid rules. It was about seeing the divine in the world around you. Each of the 5 ecological zones, the tinais, had its own main god. Kurinji. In the mountains they worshipped Murugan, the god of the hunt. Mulai. In the forests they prayed to Mayon, protector of cattle. Marutham. In the farmlands they honored Venthan, giver of rain. Naithal. On the coast they honored Kadalan, god of the sea. Palai. In the harsh desert lands they feared Kotravai, the goddess of war. Offerings of flowers, offerings of food, offerings of music. People would dance in praise. They would enter a trance, believed to be possession by the god. They put up memorial stones, called Nadukal or hero stones, for warriors who died bravely. These stones were worshipped as sacred sites. Local gods started to be identified with the great gods of the Puranas. Murugan became associated with Kartikeya, son of Shiva. Mayun became Krishna Vishnu. The economy of the Chera kingdom was powered by 2 engines, farming and trade. In the hills, a far more valuable crop grew. This was black pepper, the black gold of the ancient world. Cardamom, cinnamon, turmeric, used in medicines, used in perfumes, used in religious rituals. Besides farming, handicrafts flourished. Metal artisans, wood artisans, textile artisans. The most spectacular aspect of the Chera economy was its sea trade. The port of Muziris Roman ships, guided by the monsoon winds, would sail across the Arabian Sea. They came seeking Kerala's spices, especially pepper, pearls, ivory, precious stones. Archaeologists have found huge amounts of Roman coins in Kerala. In return for their exports, the Cheras imported goods from the west. Fine wine from Italy, glass, gold and silver coins. It made the port cities cosmopolitan centers where people and ideas from different cultures met. The Sangam Age did not end suddenly. But its legacy did not disappear. It became the foundation of Kerala's future culture. The past is not a dead country, it is a living presence. Malayalam evolved from ancient Tamil. Poetry and storytelling remain core to Malayali identity. Respect for education, a relatively high status of women. Kalaripayattu springs from Sangam warrior culture. Kerala became a spice garden and trading hub. Muziris may have vanished, but its spirit lives in Kochi's bustle and cosmopolitanism. The Sangam Age gave Kerala its unique flavor. Watch Kathakali. The Chera kings are gone, but their kingdom of song, spice and sea lives on in Kerala.